Hello and welcome to TEDx Mitchell, Iowa. In my presentation today, my TED Talk, I'm going to share why the One Room Schoolhouse is back thanks to UDL. You can have a one-room schoolhouse, and it makes it incredibly easy with UDL. So for a little backstory, I wanted to try a new type of homeschooling this past year, which was using this family-style homeschooling for the subjects of science and social studies, where instead of separating the students, having different books, having different online courses, I was going to lead those few subjects myself with my students who have an ages of 12, 8, and 4. So we have a wide variety of kids in different stages, and I was using a higher level geography curriculum and then more of a mid-level science curriculum for this. And I thought, why wouldn't this work for me? And it did, thanks to UDL. I finally had some sort of language that I could use to say what I was doing to help the students learn in different ways. And thanks to these tactics, I finally can say One Room Schoolhouse is back. You can do it too with UDL. Here are 3 ways that you can change your instruction in your homeschool One Room Schoolhouse using UDL strategies that worked for me. Number 1, modify the rigor, but keep the goals the same. So by all having the same goal, it allowed me to unify my students in my homeschool. For example, in geography, my 4-year-old would, maybe just point to the country, and my 12-year-old would have to label all of the countries. But we all could point to Europe. We could all have a conversation about Europe. So here was my overall goal with this. And I could modify that rigor, but the big picture was I wanted my students to be able to have intelligent conversations about what they were learning. I wanted them to be interesting people. And I heard this quote, which I just really loved, and it was, interesting people raise interesting children. If you want your children to be interesting, then be interesting yourself. So by being interesting as a family, by being able to have conversations about subjects like geography, science, current event, world issues, I could focus on that in my homeschool with a similar goal, but the levels of participation, the depth of the conversation and vocabulary did vary with each of my levels of students, but it did work. So that was tip 1, modify the rigor, but keep your goals the same. Number 2 tactic with UDL to help in your One Room Schoolhouse is to increase action and expression. My students have to have their hands being kept busy. We don't just sit and look at a book all day. We're home, we're involved in life, and this UDL has allowed me to bring life into my homeschool. Here are some of the different actions and expressions and multimedia projects that my students have done this year with the help of UDL. We have bear books, and we've created our own stories and books to complete research projects. We do a hands-on art project to kind of deepen that learning. My background is in art education. For every single science unit, history unit, we do a art project. And I learned that, again, by keeping those goals the same, I can have the same project, but the outcomes are just a little bit different in the skill level. We've done map work, we've done actual road trips, we've done historical timelines. The kids have done sketch notes. They have hands-on real-life experiences, field trips, which I'll talk about next. And we've done so many hands-on things. We've done weaving, we've done everything to increase that action and expression, and it's always integrated into a subject. And this is huge for the way all my different students learn. And in the older ones, it keeps them engaged. And the younger, it keeps everyone engaged. Okay, tip 3 for your One Room Schoolhouse is to optimize relevance, value, and authenticity. Okay, as homeschoolers, we have the ability to do this best. Authenticity is the name of the game when you're a full-time family. But we can get pressured by, looking at the traditional school and how it's more sitting in seats, doing collaborative projects, doing worksheets, doing those things, which we also do. But here's a little story for you. I thought I was a complete failure. I purchased a science curriculum. I purchased the entire box, this huge box, $100 with all the things we needed to do the science experiments in the book that year. Well, folks, it is May 24th, and I have not completed one experiment from that kit. The kit is still sealed. There goes $100, right? So I failed at science this year. We didn't do any science experiments. But what I realized after reflecting on all the UDL principles is that I actually did something far superior. I didn't create a fake hands-on experience through an experiment. I actually created actual real experiments at home. So let me tell you a little about the relevance, value, and authenticity created in our homeschool science this year. When we had a chapter about the ants, we actually purchased an ant farm online and observed the ants in real life. We visited a wild bird sanctuary in Florida and observed the wild birds in their natural environment. We toured the Turtle Rescue Center when we went to Florida, and we learned about the dangers to the wild sea turtles. We went to the Owl Center on the chapter about owls. We dissected an owl pellet and observed owls in the wild. During the chapter on bees in our science book, we actually got bees. We raised bees. We have bees. We added a second hive, and the girls helped me go pick up the bees, helped me, work with the bees, and now we're hoping to harvest our own honey. We created quills out of our chickens' feathers because we also raised chickens, and they wrote using the feathers and learned a little bit about old-fashioned penmanship. When we did the insect unit, I saw these kits where you could buy these little insects online, and I thought, nope, we're just going to go outside and find insects, and we pinned them to our board. That wasn't in the kit. We raised our own baby chicks, and we learned about eggs, gestation, poultry, the nutrition of eggs, and that was an entire chapter in our science book. So as you can see, the authenticity was through the roof. We did a lot, even though I didn't crack open the kit. And I was failing at science, but we are winning at life. And I think that's a huge thing of what UDL does. It helps us be more authentic, helps kids be awesome humans, helps kids actually share in the way that's best for them what they're learning. And so given these examples, given some of the UDL principles, I encourage you, the One Room Schoolhouse is back. If you homeschool, use the UDL principles to create authentic learning for your students, no matter what age ranges you have. Even if you have a 2-year-old, they will learn something through absorption. They will be in your school, and you can use these tactics on any students. This is not differentiation, and this is not traditional bell schedule schooling. This is UDL, and this is the One Room Schoolhouse. Try it today. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.